Hey there guys, welcome back to another episode of Monster Super League. It's your boy Odin, and today we're going to be doing another Astromon review. We're going to be going over the Beth, who is on the revert or the fusion table for this month. So you guys will be able to pick up the light or the dark one. I definitely recommend all players who are trying to get into Apophis to at least rebirth for one light and one dark. That is all you need. And it is going to essentially kind of propel you when it comes to the damage on the Apophis boss. Because if you don't know right now, Beth is essentially one of the better nukers for Apophis, and it's actually quite insane because she is a 3-star. All of her typing are very useful in Apophis, and you can use her to pretty much get to at least level 30 with every color of Apophis. So that being said, I definitely recommend you guys to pick up at least one of the light and the dark one. It doesn't matter if you guys, fuse the other three to try to pick up a light or a dark first, because you can always pick up a Fire Beth from the summoning pool. You can always pick up the wood one from running, what is it called, seabed caves. There's a couple different places where you can pick up the wood Beth. So definitely make sure to use, all these guys that you pick up from the rebirth to pick up the light or the dark one. And I will say that this is probably the last time that we will see Beth on the fusion table for quite some time, maybe along like 7 months or so. So the next time that we'll be seeing the Beth might be sometime in February or March of the next year. And that may only come up during the Lupin Dungeon Soulstone event. So I will definitely recommend 90% of the players to pick up a light or a dark Beth now. She's actually very useful outside of the Apophis as well. The light and the dark ones are very good nukers for Colossus as well. Same thing with the water one, and also the what do you call it, the fire one as well. So I will go ahead and show you guys a little bit of how she does in damage in Apophis, and I'll make sure that I will insert that video here maybe towards the end so you guys get to actually see the damage potential of the Beths in Apophis. I will try to use maybe mild gems on her so that she's not completely overpowered, and that you guys are able to kind of see exactly where you might end up building her, as attack crit rate, or maybe attack crit damage. There are a couple different ways that you want to build the Beths, but I will go ahead and basically go over her best gem sets in here as well. So starting out with the fire one. The fire one is a balance type. She comes in with 28,871 HP, almost 2,000 attack, so very low attack. She is a 3-star, but she does make up for it with her skills, which I'll go over here in a second. So defense is 1793, again very low defense, and then the recovery 1691. Doesn't matter. The recovery, guys, in case you don't know, just affects how much health you'll recover from the base heal that you get from your healer. So the more recovery you have, the more health you'll recover when your healer heals you. But it's honestly insignificant when it comes to the terms of how much recovery you need. You really don't need more recovery. Your healer should be doing most of the healing anyways. So you should have 0 recovery on your stats. But okay, so the leader skill for the Beth is Protector's Shield, increases allies' defense by 30-35%, which means that she can also be very useful in Apophis itself for the first sword, which if you are using her, you'll want to use her on the right-hand side, so it's a decent leader skill. I honestly would say that you guys should find a crit damage leader skill instead, but you can always use her there. And I'll show you guys how to use the crit damage leader skill with the Beth on the right side of that, and how you can set up your alignment. But for now, let's just stick to the covering the skills. So the Fire Beth comes in with a 3-star skill with Predator, so increases attack power by 30% when attacking with Astromon. She is a fire type, so that means she's just going to be dealing extra damage to the wood one. It's only a 30% damage increase on a 3-star skill, but when you go to the 5-star skill, it's Wood Predator, increases attack power by 100% when attacking wood Astromons. Those two skill sets can be improved by getting the skill books. Skill books are 3-star skill books, so they're very easy to get. You can farm them up in the story. You can essentially pick up tons of skill books. Look at that. I have 244 just from farming the story. So you can go from 30 to 40 to 50 to 65% extra damage or extra attack on the 3-star skill. And for the 5-star skill, you can go up to 135 extra attack. So very good skill for Apophis when it comes to dealing damage. Predator is essentially the skill you want for your first sword, and I'll repeat that again. The first sword, most of the damage, or the Astromon that deal most of the damage are Predators right now in Apophis for the first sword and the first sword only. You can also use Curse. Curse is right now the second when it comes to damage in Apophis. So Astromon like the Fire Banshee are very, very good in Apophis right now for the first sword and first sword only. Second and third swords, you're going to want to need a lethal striker. But for the use of the Fire Beth, I will say that she is very, very good. If you do not have the Fire John Wuchi, or if you only have one Fire John Wuchi, you can use him for your second and your third attack, and you can use the Beth for the first attack. So again, I highly recommend most of you players to pick her up. One thing that I will say though, because of the way that her skill set works, you're gonna want to use her on a gem of Siphon, which essentially increases the amount of SP that you get depending on how hard you hit your enemy. And if you were able to land that critical hit, you will recover your full entire SP bar for the second turn, which means that you can essentially keep on spamming the 5-star skill. So if you are using the Beth's, first or gem set that you're going to want to put on her is going to be that Siphon set. The Siphon set, if you're a new player, comes from the Dragon Dungeon, which comes up only on the weekends, and you'll need to farm the normal or the story in extreme mode in order to pick up the sigils that you'll need to enter the dungeon. It costs 2 sigils, so I definitely, once again, recommend most players to just keep on spamming and farming this story to pick up as many of those sigils as you can, because the sigils from the Dragon Dungeon, let me just go ahead and back out of here, because most of you guys have seen the Beth. You will go ahead and run the story on extreme, pick up the sigils, and then what you'll need to do is essentially go into the Dragon Dungeon and complete those levels to get to number 10. And I'll go ahead and make up a different video showing you guys how to do all the dragons from 1 through 15. It is very, very doable with even nav 4s. So I'll make a video on that. But yeah, you do need 4 of them, and if you guys look here, B10 is your goal. It is the easiest dragon dungeon to farm, or level I should say, and you can get guaranteed 6-star gems. I don't recommend players to farm B15 unless you're absolutely manually killing the dragon. B15 is very hard. It can be autoed, but that's mainly just for endgame players like myself. And yes, I can auto B15 dragons. But for most players, I would say recommend farming the B10 Dragon Dungeon, so you can guarantee yourself a 6-star gem. So instead of spending tons of energy in the golems and going crazy figuring out whether or not you're going to get a 6-star gem, I recommend you guys to farm the dragons. If you guys don't know, even B15 golems gives you only a 5 to 6-star gem. So even if you're spending 11 energy, you may only end up with a 5-star gem, which is not essentially ideal. So to make use of most of your energy, you want to run this story on extreme, pick up as many sigils as you can, and use them in the Dragon Dungeon to pick up those gems. Okay, so if you cannot pick up a Siphon gem set, guys, I recommend all of you guys to farm the Slumbering City on extreme to pick up the 4-star Ruin gem set here. You'll get 40% crit damage, so very, very good bonus set for the gems to give to a Beth if you're a new player. And so, yeah, I think those are basically the 2 gem sets that you're going to want on Beth. It's either the Siphon set or the Ruin set. Anything else aside from that is not very good. I would say that the Intuition set is probably okay, but given the fact that the Beth skill set is Predator, you're going to want to, do as much damage as you can and take advantage of every time that you do land a crit. So crit damage is going to be the best bonus gem set that you'll get for the Beths. So that's it for the fire one. Let's go ahead and continue now with the review. And we'll go over to the water Beth, who is always down at the bottom. And let me see if I can find her. There she is. I'm passing her up already. And the water one is an attacker type. She comes in with 25,367 HP, 2595 attack, 1818 defense, and 1580 recovery. Personally, I find the water Beth very, very useful in Apophis. She is a little bit on the lower end of damage, but I will say that if you give her that Siphon gem set, she can do very, very good. And same thing as the fire one, 30% predator for the 3-star skill, 100% predator for the 5-star skill. When skill book, that can go up to 75% damage on the 3-star skill, or no, 40, 50, 65% damage on the 3-star skill, and 130 on, or 135 on the 5-star skill. So definitely a good mon again to build, and because she is an attacker type, she has a little bit higher attack, which means that she will be dealing more damage to the fire boss or fire Apophis. And if you guys don't know, the fire Apophis is the only Apophis that comes in with a higher defense value. As soon as she basically goes in, as soon as you go into the battle, level 1, she's got, I think it's 25% more defense than the other Apophis, so you'll actually be able to deal a little bit more damage if you use a lethal striker. But again, for the first sword, fire, or the Beth, fire, wood, and water Beths are dealing the most damage, at least for now. The only other mon that can kind of compete with the water Beth right now is the water Valkyrie, super ascended and super evolutioned, but that means you'll need all 3 of her trinket sets to get her there, and she's got to be Evo 3 to beat out the Beth in damage. So you know, make sure that you guys pick up the Beth, because she is very, very good. So let me go ahead and move on to the wood one. And if you guys don't know, or if you guys, you know, want to take a peek, all Beths are essentially the same, except for their typing and you know, that I should say the skill sets on the Beths are the same, except for the amount of damage that they deal. So the wood one is unfortunately a tank type. She is coming in with 43,900 HP. Attack is very, very low, 1676. Defense is 1295, and recovery is 1513. I will say that the wood Beth kind of underperforms when compared to the fire and the water Beth, but she can definitely still deal a decent amount of damage, and I'll show you guys that in my video here next, when I show you guys essentially the first sword using the Beths in my lineup. For a keynote, guys, in my video, I will be using the Beths on a Siphon set to make sure that I take advantage of that Predator 5-star skill set. And same thing as the other 2 guys, she's Water Predator, just 30% on the 3-star skill, which goes up to 65%, and the 5-star skill is 100% chance Predator that goes into 135 if you skill book her. So again, very, very easy to skill book them. They are very easy to farm, and can definitely help you get those much needed soul stones to pick up your light Apophis, your dark Apophis, your fire, water, and wood Apophis as well. I would say that you know, they in the beginning, you know, I didn't really think much about the Beths, but as soon as they came out and I was testing out the damage, I really found that Predator was really, really high up there on the damage bar. In comparison, guys, the Shelleys right now, the dark and the light one, are very good as well. The light one is better than the dark one, unfortunately, but that's just because the dark one has defense down on the 3-star skill. And I'll say that the dark one is kind of clunky. She has a very, very low HP, very low defense as well. But yeah, so definitely same thing, kind of like the Beths, guys. You want to pick up a Shelley whenever she comes back around in the rebirth as well. So let me go ahead and go over the light Beth, who is an attacker type. She comes in with 28,432 HP, 3,228 attack, so very good attack for a light type. Defense is 2281, and recovery is 2070. So similar to the other Beths, she comes in with double Predator, but her 3-star skill is 50%, and the 5-star skill is 100%. So not much of a gain on the 5-star skill. I feel like they could have increased that up to like 110 or 120, but it is what it is. At least they gave her 50% on the 3-star skill, even though you'll never be using it because you'll want to maximize the 5-star by using the Siphon set. So on the 3-star skill, you can go up to, I believe it's 75% damage, and then on the 5-star skill, you can go up to 135% damage. So similar to the fire, water, and wood. I will say, guys, that the fire one is very, very good, especially against the what do you call it, the variant Apophis. So definitely make sure that you guys pick up one of the light Beths at the very minimum and one of the dark Beths at the minimum again. So one time real quick, we'll go over to the dark Beth as well so that you guys can see how she looks and actually really compare her stats. And let's see if she's out here at the bottom. There she is, right next to the dark Shelley. As I mentioned before, guys, when the Shelley comes back around, make sure you guys also pick up a copy of her because she is very good. And again, if you put the Shelley on a siphon set, she will deal some very, very nice damage as well. But look at her damage here at 3,000 attack and 28,000 HP, comparable to the Dark Beth. And the Dark Beth is also an attacker type, and she comes in with 26,709 HP, 3,051 attack, so slightly lower attack than the light one. Or actually, no, it's slightly lower. And then defense is 2254, so very good defense. Recovery is 1989 for a 4-star. I'd say that that's pretty good. So same thing with the skill set, guys. 50% light predator going up to 75%, and 5-star skills light predator 100% going up to 135%. So very, very good. All right, guys, and that's it for the cover of the Beths. Again, you want to use a siphon set, and then you also want to use a ruin set if you cannot find a siphon set. Those are going to be the only 2 gem sets that I recommend for the 5 of them. So definitely make sure you guys pick those up. So now that I basically went over and showed you guys what they are, I'm going to go ahead and play some Apophis gameplay now and show you guys what their damage potential is and the reason why you guys need to pick her up for the first, second, and or for the first sword for all Apophis types. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. Once you guys are done watching the video, make sure that you guys hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And of course, join us up on the Discord. There's definitely a lot of good stuff. Oh, one thing I guess I did want to also go over is on our Discord, guys, Elio was kind enough to install for us the Ether bot. The Ether bot is actually very, very useful if you're wanting to look up on a specific set of skills or Astromon and know what their stats are like. All you have to do is come in here and just type in the name of the Astromon, and you know, essentially you'll just basically pull that up. So let me go ahead and pull up the Beth, and of course I'm keying it in wrong. So what you want to do is just type in the Astromon name in lowercase, just Bethany, and her skill set would pop up here. So oh, looks like I gotta capitalize the first name of Bethany. So there we go. And another thing you can do is you can just type in Wood Bethany, and I think this should work. Or is it Wood Bethany? There we go. That should pop up, you know, the specific type. So you can do that with any mon that you want, and I think it's a very useful bot, a really good tool to use. So make sure you guys go to either our Discord or to Elio's channel. You'll be able to use the bot on both of those. Another thing that's also really, really good about the Ether bot is you can actually do damage calculations with it. So let's say I want to do damage calculation for an Astromon with 12,100 attack. Let's see, crit damage. Let's try and say 210% crit damage and 30, and let's say 80% chance to crit rate. So just the way I typed it, you want to put D for the damage, 12,100 for the attack, space, 210 for the crit damage, and 8 in space, and an 80% chance for the crit rate. Press enter, and there you go. It'll give you exactly how much damage your Astromon will deal. It'll give you an average. The average is 178,354. 66,550 with no crit, and 206,305 with crit. So that's how you can essentially calculate a lot of an Astromon's potential and damage. So a very good bot to use. Make sure you guys go in there and try that out for yourselves. Again, very, very neat, very nifty, and very useful for a lot of you new players out there. So make sure that you guys come in and join the Discord to check that out. I'll leave a link for the Discord down in the description below, and I'll also leave a link for Elio's Discord in there as well. All right, here comes the gameplay, guys. Take it easy. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that a little showcase for the Bethany. I definitely wanted to basically just go over one last quick thing, and that was to show you guys the build for her. Like I said, you want to put her on attack crit damage. If you want to bring out her best potential, you can either use a crit damage leader skill, or you can use the attack leader skill from how I used mine, using the Dark Midsummer Miho. You can definitely use another Astromon, like a 4-star mon that gives you crit damage, and just put them in the first slot so that they die quickly, and maybe put like a healer in the back. That would definitely help out the Bethany deal out a little bit more damage. Because I used her in attack crit damage, I went with a little bit more attack, especially for the dark one, because she does already come with the 100% crit damage bonus. I'm going to just quickly go ahead and show you guys the gems that I'm using. Attack, crit rate, recovery, and defense. That gem can definitely be improved, although it does have some very nice crit rate on that substat. Same thing with this one, crit rate, resist, defense, and HP. That's actually a pretty good gem. I wish I could re-roll that resist though into something else, but resist is handy in Apophis, so I decided to keep it. This crit damage gem here can definitely be improved. I would love to pull a different one with maybe a higher crit rate than this one, so maybe in the future. Resist, recovery, and HP on that one. For the enhancement, guys, for all of the Bethanies, you want to put HP or attack, flat attack percent. You want to use a crit damage bonus there. You also want to use HP, and then percent defense, I think, works out better for the Bethany. Unless you already have some such stats in which you could use flat defense might be better, depending on what you're really going for and what your trinkets look like. My trinkets are actually pretty god awful, but yeah, you guys can basically take a look at the stats here. I do use 6-star relics on her. Ideally, you want to use a Arthur trinket set, because that will give you an extra 10% of attack, but I decided to basically just try not to max her out as much compared to what I can do, so that you guys could have potential or similar damage to what I've got here. So it's going to take a while for you guys to get that siphon set, but once you do, it'll be totally worth it. Until then, farm Slumbering City if you can basically come up with a good Ruin gem set from there as well. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And like I said, please go ahead and join the Discord. Lots of good stuff going on there. Very helpful community. Definitely looking to put out a ton of more videos coming up here in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. All right, take it easy, guys.